today. This is part 3 for the reading section. Today we are going to talk about making an inference. So a text does not always state everything directly. Sometimes you need to infer the meaning by reading between the lines. That is, making an inference involves using what you know to make a guess about what you don't know, or reading between the lines. So readers who make inferences usually use the clue in the text, such as a topic, along their own experiences to help them figure out what is not directly said. And then they can make the text personal and memorable. So why is this important? Researchers have confirmed that thoughtful, active, and proficient readers are metacognitive. They think about their own thinking during the reading. They can identify the when and why the meaning of the article is unclear to them, and they can use a variety of strategies to solve the comprehension problems or deepen their understanding of the article. So proficient readers use their prior knowledge and the textual information to draw the conclusions, make critical judgments, and form unique interpretations from the article. Inferences may occur in the form of conclusions, predictions, or new ideas. So let's try the one example here together. You can see on the slide here, you have the reading article, the short paragraph here. A young woman walked a bit uncertainly towards the famous cozy Italian restaurant. She did not believe the excuse her parents gave her to having to meet her at the restaurant instead of their house. To make matters worse, she was a bit grumpy because she was still catching up on the sleep that she lost during the exam time. She noticed some cars that looked familiar in the parking lot. As soon as she walked through the door, she heard "surprise." So here we can kind of read closely, find the details from this text, and then kind of making some inference. So the text here in the paragraph, it says she did not believe the excuse her parents gave her. So from here we can know sometimes if people play the practical jokes and others don't believe everything they say. So here in this sentence, you can kind of think, you will know this girl, she doesn't believe what her parents say. She may think her parents is playing a joke with her. Okay, the next part we say she was a bit grumpy because she was still catching up on the sleep that she lost during exam time. So here you can see the exam time, so we can make inference saying, okay, this person, this lady, she probably still going to a high school or the college. She definitely probably is a student. Okay, also here we can see she noticed some cars that look familiar in the parking lot. As soon as she walked through the door, she heard "surprise." So she saw some car looking familiar with, so you can see from this information, you can say that if her parents wants to meet her at the restaurant, maybe the parents also invite other people who they are familiar with, they know each other. So you also see the last sentence, the last word in this paragraph say "surprise." So we may see this probably is a surprise party. So when you make an inference, you are going to use the different details from the article, and you are combining all these clues together and then you can make a new conclusion, okay, based on the clue that you have. So making an inference is a result of a process. It requires reading a text, noting specific details, and then putting all these details together to achieve a new understanding. So here I'm going to provide you 5 steps you can use when you are trying to make an inference. So step 1, read the text. And step 2, read and understand the question. Then step 3, list the relevant details. Step 4, look for patterns or relationships. And then step 5, you can determine what they mean. I'm going to give you one example here, and then we are going to use these 5 steps to trying to make an inference. So the step 1, which is you are going to read this article, this paragraph. Okay, so imagine a half of dozen students standing at the end of the street. It's a dark morning at 7 a.m. The students are huddled together. Several are hugging themselves. Others are jumping up and down. And still others are rubbing their hands together and huffing on them. When the bus arrives, one student hollers, "Bus!" All of the students run to get on the vehicle. So this is step 1. So you need to read it. Okay, step 2, the question. What season is it? So after that, so we know, read the question. Here we want to figure out the season from this reading past. So step 3, we are going to list all the relevant details about this question. So if you look at the first 2 sentences about a dozen students and then standing at the street and the bus comes, these sentences are not related to the season. However, if you look at the details about, here you can see the details about the students are huddled together, and some of them are hugging themselves, others are jumping up and down, and then others are rubbing their hands. So here are some details, some clues for you to figure out, to guess the season. Think about, when were you rubbing your hands together? Usually it could be very cold. When were you jumping up and down? Usually it's the same. When you feel cold, you are jumping up and down. Also, there is one information that one important information, and the beginning of the sentence say, "It's a dark morning at 7 a.m." So from all these details, you can think about, you can make a guess that the season could be in the winter, because in the winter the sunrise is really late, and then usually when it's 7 a.m. it would be dark outside. So here you are trying to using these 5 steps, so you can put some possible clues and details together, and then you will make the new understanding. So inferences are made by putting multiple clues together. We kind of practice using the clue that we can find out from this reading passage. Okay, so I'm going to let you do another exercise here. You might want to pause the video and then try these 5 steps, and then come back, we will discuss what you guess, okay? So welcome back here. So with this exercise, let's read this short passage together. Say, every day after work, Paul took his muddy boots off on the step of the front porch. Alice would have a fit if the boots made it so far as the welcome mat. He then took off his dusty overalls and threw them into a plastic garbage bag. Alice left a new garbage bag tied to the porch brilliant for him every morning. On his way in the house, he dropped the garbage bag off at the washing machine and went straight up the stairs to the shower as he was instructed. He would eat dinner with her after he was presentable, as Alice had often said. So don't forget step 2, you need to read the questions. So here are 2 questions. Question 1, what type of job does Paul do? Question 2, what relationship do Paul and Alice have? After that, let's see step 3. You are going to list the relevant details. So let's answer the first question, thinking about his job. So from the first sentence here, we know that after work, Paul took his muddy boots off. So muddy boots. So he's the first clue. Second one, you can see he took off his dusty overalls. So from these 2 information, we can think about Paul. He probably worked some kinds of job that requires him to get dirty. Okay, and then after reading the information, we talk about Paul and Alice. Like Alice will prepare the new garbage bag for him, and then Paul will went up the stairs to take a shower because Alice told him to do it, and then they will have dinner together. So here, if we want to think about their relationship, we can say they're probably their husband and wife, or they could be mother and son. Okay, so we practice some short exercise about making an inference, and then I also give you a short homework assignment. Here are the other 2 exercises. I want you to try to use these 5 steps to answer the questions, and please you post your answer in the discussion board. And I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.